Question 1. Which ancient people built a wall across northern England to defend their territory? A. The Vikings, B. The Romans, C. The Anglo-Saxons, D. The Normans. Answers is B. The Romans. The Romans built Hadrian's Wall across northern England to mark the northern frontier of their empire and protect against tribes from the north. Question 2. What was the name of the last Anglo-Saxon king of England? A. King Alfred, B. King Harold, C. King Canute, D. King Edward the Confessor. Answers is B. King Harold. Harold, known as King Harold, was the last Anglo-Saxon king of England, defeated by William the Conqueror in the Battle of Hastings in 1066. Question 3. From which region did the Vikings primarily originate before raiding Britain? A. France, B. Spain, C. Scandinavia, D. Germany. Answers is C. Scandinavia. The Vikings came from Scandinavian such as Denmark, Norway, and Sweden, raiding and settling parts of Britain from the late century. Question 4. What significant event occurred in England in the year 1066? A. The Magna was signed, B. The Norman Conquest, C. The Black Death, D. The Romans left Britain. Answers is B. The Norman Conquest. The Norman Conquest, led by William the Conqueror, took place in 1066, fundamentally changing English society, language, and governance. Question 5. Which important legal document limiting the power of the monarch was signed in 1215? A. The Bill of Rights, B. The Petition of Right, C. Magna, D. The Great Charter. Answers is C. Magna. Magna, signed by King John in 1215, established the principle that everyone, including the king, was subject to the law. Question 6. What was the War of the Roses primarily fought over in the century? A. Religious freedom, B. The English throne, C. Control of Scotland, D. Trade routes. Answers is B. The English throne. The War of the Roses was a series of civil wars fought between the houses of Lancaster Red Rose and York White Rose for control of the English throne. Question 7. Which English king had 6 wives and played a key role in the English Reformation? A. King Edward, B. King Henry, C. King James I, D. King Charles I. Answers is B. King Henry. Henry broke away from the Roman Catholic Church, establishing the Church of England, largely to gain an annulment from his first wife. Question 8. Who was the Queen during the Spanish Armada's attempted invasion of England in 1588? A. Queen Mary I, B. Queen Victoria, C. Queen Elizabeth I, D. Queen Anne. Answers is C. Queen Elizabeth I. Queen Elizabeth I reigned during the defeat of the Spanish Armada, a victory that significantly boosted English national pride and confidence. Question 9. Which monarch was after the English Civil War in 1649? A. King Henry, B. King James, C. King Charles I, D. King George I. Answers is C. King Charles I. King Charles I was in 1649, leading to a period of republican rule under Oliver before the monarchy was. Question 10. Who led the parliamentarian forces during the English Civil War and became Lord Protector? A. Sir Francis Drake, B. Oliver, C. William of Orange, D. Guy. Answers is B. Oliver. Oliver was a key military and political leader who oversaw the defeat of the and later became Lord Protector of England, Scotland and Ireland. Question 11. What was the Glorious Revolution of 1688 primarily about? A. Establishing abroad, B. Transferring power to William and Mary, C. Ending the War of the Roses, D. The abolition of slavery. Answers is B. Transferring power to William and Mary. The Glorious Revolution saw the peaceful overthrow of King James and the ascension of William of Orange and Mary to the throne, consolidating parliamentary power. Question 12. What significant document passed in 1689 further limited the power of the monarch and established parliamentary supremacy? A. Magna, B. The Bill of Rights, C. The Act of Union, D. The Corpus Act. Answers is B. The Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights of 1689 confirmed Parliament's power over the monarch and established individual rights, laying foundations for constitutional monarchy. Question 13. Which act formally united England and Scotland to form Great Britain in 1707? A. The Treaty of Union, B. The Act of Union, C. The Scottish Settlement, D. The Great Unification. Answers is B. The Act of Union. The Acts of Union 1707 formally merged the Kingdom of England and the Kingdom of Scotland into a single united kingdom, Great Britain. Question 14. What major global conflict did Britain fight against France from 1803 to 1815? A. The 7 Years' War, B. The American War of Independence, C. The Wars, D. The Crimean War. Answers is C. The Wars. Britain was a key player in the wars, ultimately defeating Napoleon Bonaparte at the Battle of Waterloo in 1815. Question 15. What significant social and economic transformation began in Britain in the century? A. The Agricultural Revolution, B. The Industrial Revolution, C. The Enlightenment, D. The Scientific Revolution. Answers is B. The Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution, starting in Britain, saw rapid advancements in technology, manufacturing and social organization, shifting from agrarian to urban. Question 16. Which British engineer is famous for developing the steam engine, crucial to the Industrial Revolution? A. George, B. Kingdom, C. James Watt, D. Richard. Answers is C. James Watt. James Watt's improvements to the steam engine made it more efficient and practical, powering factories and transportation during the Industrial Revolution. Question 17. During which monarch's reign did the British Empire reach its largest extent? A. King George, B. Queen Victoria, C. King Edward, D. Queen Elizabeth. Answers is B. Queen Victoria. The Victorian era was the height of the British Empire, which covered a quarter of the world's land area and governed a fifth of its population. Question 18. When did women in the get the right to vote on the same terms as men? A. 1918, B. 1928, C. 1903, D. 1945. Answers is B. 1928. The Representation of the People Equal Franchise Act 1928 gave women over 21 the right to vote on the same terms as men, following earlier limited suffrage. Question 19. What was the name of the movement that campaigned for women's right to vote? A. The B. The Suffragettes, C. The D. The Liberators. Answers is B. The Suffragettes. The Suffragettes, led by Pankhurst and her daughters, used militant tactics to fight for women's suffrage in the early century. Question 20. Which major global conflict took place from 1914 to 1918? A. The wars, B. The First World War, C. The Second World War, D. The Cold War. Answers is B. The First World War. The First World War, often called the Great War, involved the Allied powers including Britain against the Central Powers and resulted in millions of. Question 21. Who was the Prime Minister of for most of the Second World War? A. Chamberlain, B. Churchill, C. Clement, D. Herald. Answers is B. Churchill. Churchill led Britain through the majority of the Second World War, inspiring the nation with his speeches and unwavering determination. Question 22. In which year did D-Day, the Allied invasion of Normandy, take place? A. 1942, B. 1944, C. 1940, D. 1945. Answers is B. 1944. D-Day, June 6, 1944, was the largest seaborne invasion in history, marking the beginning of the liberation of Western Europe. Question 23. When was the National Health Service established in the A. 1938, B. 1948, C. 1958, D. 1928. Answers is B. 1948. It was established in 1948 under the Labour government, providing free healthcare to all citizens at the point of use. Question 24. What was the main reason for increased immigration to after the Second World War? A. Tourism, B. Labour shortages for reconstruction, C. Climate change, D. New trade agreements. Answers is B. Labour shortages for reconstruction. Britain faced severe labour shortages, leading to invitations for people from Commonwealth, particularly the West, to help rebuild the nation. Question 25. What is the name of the current monarch? A. Queen Elizabeth, B. King William v. C. King Charles, D. King George. Answers is C. King Charles. King Charles ascended to the throne in September 2022, following the death of his mother, Queen Elizabeth. Question 26. What is the official residence and principal workplace of the monarch in London? A. Windsor Castle, B. Palace, C. Kensington Palace, D. Balmoral Castle. Answers is B. Palace. Palace serves as the administrative headquarters of the monarch and is where many official engagements and receptions are held. Question 27. Who is the head of the government? A. The King, B. The Speaker of the House of Commons, C. The Prime Minister, D. The Lord Chancellor. Answers is C. The Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is the leader of the political party with the most seats in the House of Commons and is responsible for running the government. Question 28. What is the main role of the Prime Minister? A. To sign laws into effect, B. To lead the government and make policy decisions, C. To represent the internationally as head of state, D. To oversee judicial appointments. Answers is B. To lead the government and make policy decisions. The Prime Minister leads the executive branch of government, chairs the cabinet, and oversees the implementation of. Question 29. What are the two houses that make up the Parliament? A. House of Kings and House of Lords, B. House of and House of Senators, C. House of Commons and House of Lords, D. House of Parliament and House of Government. Answers is C. House of Commons and House of Lords. The Parliament consists of two chambers, the elected House of Commons and the appointed House of Lords, both playing roles in legislation. Question 30. How often are general elections typically held for the House of Commons? A. Every 3 years, B. Every 5 years, C. Every 4 years, D. Every 6 years. Answers is B. Every 5 years. By law, general elections for the House of Commons must be held at least every 5 years, though they can be called earlier by the Prime Minister. Question 31. What is the minimum age at which a person can vote in a general election? A. 16, B. 18, C. 17, D. 21. Answers is B. 18. Of the Republic of Ireland or Commonwealth who are resident in they can vote in general elections from the age of 18. Question 32. What is the name of the official report that records parliamentary debates? A. The Parliamentary Record, B. Hansard, C. The Official Report, D. The Commons Journal. Answers is B. Hansard. Hansard is the official report of all spoken contributions and written answers in both the House of Commons and the House of Lords. Question 33. Which of these is a devolved government in the A. London Assembly, B. Scottish Parliament, C. Isle of Man Parliament, D. Jersey States Assembly? Answers is B. Scottish Parliament. The Scottish Parliament is one of the 3 devolved legislatures in alongside the Welsh Parliament Senedd Cymru and the Northern Ireland Assembly. Question 34. What powers are reserved for the Parliament rather than devolved governments? A. Education and health, B. Defence and foreign affairs, C. Agriculture and environment, D. Justice and policing. Answers is B. Defence and foreign affairs. Defence and foreign policy are powers reserved exclusively for the Parliament at Westminster, not devolved to Scotland, Wales, or Northern Ireland. Question 35. What is the capital city of England? A. Manchester, B. London, C. D. Liverpool. Answers is B. London. London has been the capital of England, and later the United Kingdom for, serving as a major global city. Question 36. Which mountain is the highest in Wales? A. Ben Nevis, B. Mount Snowdon, C. Pike, D. Answers is B. Mount Snowdon. Commonly known as Mount Snowdon, is the highest mountain in Wales and a prominent national park attraction. Question 37. What is the capital city of Scotland? A. Glasgow, B. Edinburgh, C. Aberdeen, D. Dundee. Answers is B. Edinburgh. Edinburgh is the historic capital of Scotland, home to the Scottish Parliament and Edinburgh Castle. Question 38. Which major river flows through London? A. River Severn, B. River Thames, C. River Mersey, D. River Clyde. Answers is B. River Thames. The River Thames is the longest river entirely in England and flows through the heart of London, playing a significant role in its history and economy. Question 39. What is the national animal of Scotland? A. Lion, B. Unicorn, C. Dragon, D. Eagle. Answers is B. Unicorn. The unicorn has been Scotland's national animal since the century, symbolising purity, innocence, power and independence. Question 40. Which famous Roman bath complex is in England? A. B. Bath, C. Chester, D. York. Answers is B. Bath. The city of Bath is renowned for its Roman baths, built around thermal springs, which are a major tourist attraction. Question 41. What is the national flower of England? A. Thistle, B. Daffodil, C. Rose, D. Shamrock. Answers is C. Rose. The rose has been the national flower of England since the Wars of the Roses, representing the houses of Lancaster and York. Question 42. What is the traditional symbol of Northern Ireland? A. Leek, B. Shamrock, C. Thistle, D. Red rose. Answers is B. Shamrock. The shamrock, a clover, is a traditional symbol of Ireland, often associated with and widely used in Northern Ireland. Question 43. Which British playwright is widely regarded as the greatest writer in the English language? A. Charles Dickens, B. William Shakespeare, C. Jane D. Answers is B. William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare, often called England's national poet, wrote numerous plays and sonnets that are still performed and studied worldwide. Question 44. Who wrote the famous detective stories featuring Sherlock Holmes? A. Christie, B. Sir Arthur, C. Robert Louis, D. Charles Dickens. Answers is B. Sir Arthur. Sir Arthur, a Scottish writer, the iconic character Sherlock Holmes, a brilliant consulting detective. Question 45. Which British author wrote Pride and Prejudice? A. Charlotte, B. Jane, C. George, D. Virginia Woolf. Answers is B. Jane. Jane is celebrated for her novels of manners, including Pride and Prejudice, which remain popular classics. Question 46. Which British band is famous for hits like Bohemian Rhapsody and We Will Rock You? A. The Beatles, B. Queen, C. The Rolling Stones, D. Led Zeppelin. Answers is B. Queen. Queen, fronted by Freddie Mercury, is one of the most iconic and successful British rock bands in history. Question 47. Which sport is considered the national sport of England and their A. Rugby, B. Cricket, C. Football, soccer, D. Tennis. Answers is B. Cricket. Cricket is deeply rooted in English history and is often referred to as the national sport, though football is more popular in terms of participation and... Question 48. What is the name of the oldest tennis tournament in the world held in London? A. US Open, B. Wimbledon Championships, C. French Open, D. Australian Open. Answers is B. Wimbledon Championships. The Wimbledon Championships, founded in 1877, is the only Grand Slam tennis event still played on grass courts. Question 49. What is the traditional Sunday roast meal in the often served with A. Pasta, B. Yorkshire pudding, C. Naan bread, D. Rice? Answers is B. Yorkshire pudding. Yorkshire pudding is a staple accompaniment to a traditional Sunday roast, typically served with roast beef, potatoes, vegetables, and gravy. Question 50. When is Bonfire Night celebrated in the A. October, B. November, C. December, D. July? Answers is B. November. Bonfire Night, also known as Guy Night, commemorates the failed gunpowder plot of 1605 and is celebrated with bonfires and fireworks. Question 51. What is the purpose of the Royal Ascot event? A flower show, B. A horse racing festival, C. A classical music concert, D. A fashion week. Answers is B. A horse racing festival. Royal Ascot is a prestigious horse racing meeting held annually in June, famous for its high fashion and royal attendance. Question 52. Who is responsible for passing laws in the A. The Supreme Court, B. Parliament, C. The monarch, D. The Prime Minister? Answers is B. Parliament. Laws in the are passed by Parliament, comprising the House of Commons, House of Lords, and the monarch giving royal assent. Question 53. What is one of the key of a British citizen? A. Serving in the military, B. Obeying the law, C. Volunteering for charity, D. Speaking English. Answers is B. Obeying the law. Obeying the law is a fundamental responsibility for all residents and citizens in the, ensuring a fair and orderly society. Question 54. What is the primary role of the police in the A. To enforce parking regulations only, B. To maintain law and order and protect the public, C. To collect taxes, D. To manage public transport? Answers is B. To maintain law and order and protect the public. The police force main include preventing crime, investigating offences, and ensuring public safety and order. Question 55. What is the minimum age to serve on a jury in the A. 16, B. 18, C. 21, D. Answers is B. 18. To be eligible for jury service in the A person must be on the electoral register, aged 18 to 75, and have in thee for at least 5 years since their birthday. Question 56. What must individuals do if they receive A. summons for jury service? A. Ignore it. B. Attend court as required unless officially excused. C. Find a replacement. D. Call the police. Answers is B. Attend court as required unless officially excused. Jury service is a civic duty, and those summoned are legally required to attend, although some may be eligible for excusal or deferral under specific circumstances. Question 57. What is the purpose of paying taxes in the A. To fund private businesses, B. To fund public services like healthcare and education, C. To support specific political parties, D. To pay the royal family's expenses? Answers is B. To fund public services like healthcare and education. Taxes on income, goods and services are collected by the government to pay for essential public services and infrastructure that benefit everyone. Question 58. Which major festival celebrates the birth of Jesus Christ? A. Easter, B. Christmas, C. Halloween, D. Diwali. Answers is B. Christmas. Christmas, celebrated on December, is a major Christian festival observed with family gatherings and festive meals. Question 59. What is the name for the period of 40 days before Easter observed by Christians? A. Advent, B. Lent, C. Pentecost, D. Epiphany. Answers is B. Lent. Lent is a time of fasting, prayer and penance for Christians, leading up to Easter, commemorating the 40 days Jesus spent in the desert. Question 60. What is the name of the traditional breakfast dish consisting of battered fish and chips? A. Full English breakfast, B. Fish and chips, C. Shepherd's pie, D. And mash. Answers is B. Fish and chips. Fish and chips is a classic British takeaway meal, typically eaten for lunch or dinner, not breakfast. The question contains an error regarding it being a breakfast dish, but the choice of fish and chips is correct for the description. Question 61. What is the British tradition of pantomime often associated with? A. Serious historical plays, B. Christmas theatre shows for, C. Silent film screenings, D. Modern art exhibitions. Answers is B. Christmas theatre shows for. Pantomime is a traditional British Christmas entertainment, a theatrical production designed for family audiences, featuring audience participation and often men dressed as women and vice versa. Question 62. Which poet is famous for works such as the Canterbury Tales? A. William Shakespeare, B. C. John Milton, D. William. Answers is B. Often called the father of English literature, wrote the Canterbury Tales, a collection of stories told by a group of pilgrims. Question 63. What is the traditional Welsh costume for women by A kilt and sporran, B. A tall hat and shawl, C. A denim jacket and jeans, D. A sari. Answers is B, a tall hat and shawl. The traditional Welsh costume includes a tall black hat, often called a Welsh hat, a long woolen skirt, and a shawl. Question 64. Which major event in London celebrates culture and rights? A. Hill Carnival, B. Pride in London, C. Lord Mayor's Show, D. Trooping the Colour. Answers is B. Pride in London. Pride in London is an annual festival and parade celebrating lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender and queer people and their allies. Question 65. What is the name of the traditional Scottish dish made from sheep's offal, oatmeal and spices? A. And mash, B. Haggis, C. D. Scotch broth. Answers is B. Haggis. Haggis is Scotland's national dish, traditionally served with neeps and turnips and potatoes, and often consumed on Burns Night. Question 66. Who wrote A Christmas Carol? A. Lewis, B. Charles Dickens, C. Oscar, D. Jane. Answers is B. Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens is one of the most famous Victorian novelists, and A Christmas Carol is one of his works. Question 67. What is the official anthem of the United Kingdom? A. Rule Britannia, B. God Save the King, C. Land of Hope and Glory, D. Jerusalem. Answers is B. God Save the King. God Save the King or Queen is the national anthem of the United Kingdom and also serves as the royal anthem for Commonwealth realms. Question 68. What is the name of the British institution dedicated to scientific research, founded in 1660? A. The British Museum, B. The Royal Society, C. The British Library, D. The National Gallery. Answers is B. The Royal Society. The Royal Society is a fellowship of many of the world's most eminent scientists and is the oldest continuously existing scientific academy in the world. Question 69. What is the common term for the morning meal in the, often including bacon, eggs and sausage? A. Continental breakfast, B. Full English breakfast, C. Brunch, D. Elevenses. Answers is B. Full English breakfast. A full English breakfast is a substantial meal, typically consisting of bacon, eggs, sausages, baked beans, toast, and sometimes black pudding and mushrooms. Question 70. Which famous Scottish poet is celebrated annually on Burns Night? A. Sir Walter Scott, B. Robert Burns, C. Robert Louis, D. Answers is B. Robert Burns. Robert Burns, often known as the National Poet of Scotland, is celebrated on his birthday, January, with Burns suppers featuring haggis, whiskey, and readings of his poetry. Question 71. What is the traditional name for a public house in the A. B. Pub, C. Bistro, D. Diner? Answers is B. Pub. A pub, short for public house, is a licensed establishment for the sale and consumption of alcoholic drinks, serving as a social hub in many. Question 72. What is the common term for the light meal typically consumed in the afternoon with tea? A. Brunch, B. Afternoon tea, C. High tea, D. Elevenses. Answers is B. Afternoon tea. Afternoon tea is a British tradition of drinking tea accompanied by scones with jam and cream and cakes, typically enjoyed in the. Question 73. Which British institution holds a vast collection of cultural and historical artifacts from around the world? A. Tate Modern, B. The British Museum, C. National Gallery, D. Victoria and Albert Museum. Answers is B. The British Museum. The British Museum in London houses a collection of art and chronicling human history and culture. Question 74. What is the national flower of Wales? A. Rose, B. Daffodil, C. Thistle, D. Shamrock. Answers is B. Daffodil. The daffodil is a national emblem of Wales, traditionally worn on David's Day March. Question 75. What is the name of the annual boat race between Oxford and Cambridge? A. Henley Regatta, B. The boat race, C. Week, D. Canoe Marathon. Answers is B. The boat race. The boat race is an annual rowing race between the Oxford University Boat Club and the Cambridge University Boat Club, rowed along the River Thames. Question 76. What is the official currency of the United Kingdom? A. Euro, B. Pound sterling, C. Dollar, D. Shilling. Answers is B. Pound sterling. The pound sterling is the official currency of the and its associated. Question 77. What is the maximum speed limit on motorways for cars? A. 60 miles per hour, B. 70 miles per hour, C. 80 miles per hour, D. 50 miles per hour. Answers is B. 70 miles per hour. The national speed limit for cars on motorways and dual carriageways is 70 miles per hour unless otherwise. Question 78. When is David's Day celebrated in Wales? A. February, B. March, C. April, D. September. Answers is B. March. David's Day is the national day of Wales, commemorating the death of Saint David, the patron saint of Wales. Question 79. What is the name of the traditional Scottish skirt worn by men? A. Sari, B. Kilt, C. Tartan, D. Sparran. Answers is B. Kilt. A kilt is a garment with pleats at the rear, originating in the traditional dress of Gaelic men and boys in the Scottish Highlands. Question 80. Which famous Scottish lake is reputedly home to a mythical monster? A. Loch, B. Loch Ness, C. Loch or D. Loch. Answers is B. Loch Ness. Loch Ness is one of Scotland's most famous lakes, known worldwide for the legend of the Loch Ness Monster, or. Question 81. What is the symbol of Northern Ireland often worn on day? A. Leek, B. Shamrock, C. Thistle, D. Rose. Answers is B. Shamrock. The shamrock, a clover, is a symbol of Ireland and is widely associated with day. Question 82. What is the name given to the legislative body in Wales? A. Welsh Assembly, B. Senedd Cymru Welsh Parliament, C. House of Wales, D. Cardiff Council. Answers is B. Senedd Cymru Welsh Parliament. Senedd Cymru, or the Welsh Parliament, is the devolved legislature of Wales, with powers to make laws for Wales and hold the Welsh Government to account. Question 83. What does the red dragon on the Welsh flag symbolise? A. Royalty. B. Ancient Welsh heritage. C. Power and strength. D. Fire and passion. Answers is B. Ancient Welsh heritage. The red dragon is a powerful symbol of Welsh national identity and has been associated with Wales for representing ancient legends and heritage. Question 84. Which British scientist developed the theory of evolution by natural selection? A. Isaac Newton. B. Charles. C. Stephen Hawking. D. Alexander Fleming. Answers is B. Charles. Charles' groundbreaking work on the origin of species 1859 introduced the concept of evolution through natural selection. Question 85. Who is considered one of the founders of modern nursing and came to prominence during the Crimean War? A. Mary. B. Florence Nightingale. C. D. Elizabeth Anderson. Answers is B. Florence Nightingale. Florence Nightingale, known as the Lady with the Lamp, greatly improved sanitation and patient care in military hospitals. Question 86. What significant discovery did Sir Alexander Fleming make in 1928? A. Structure. B. Penicillin. C. X-rays. D. Insulin. Answers is B. Penicillin. Sir Alexander Fleming's accidental discovery of penicillin revolutionized medicine and led to the development of antibiotics. Question 87. Which British physicist developed the laws of motion and universal gravitation? A. Albert Einstein. B. Isaac Newton. C. Michael Faraday. D. Ernest Rutherford. Answers is B. Isaac Newton. Sir Isaac Newton's laid the foundations for classical mechanics and is one of the most important scientific works ever published. Question 88. What is the name of the annual speech given by the monarch at the state opening of Parliament? A. The monarch's address. B. The King's speech. C. The royal proclamation. D. The State of the Nation address. Answers is B. The King's speech. The King's speech or Queen's speech outlines the government's legislative agenda for the coming parliamentary session. Question 89. Who is the monarch in British history? A. Queen Victoria. B. Queen Elizabeth. C. King George. D. King Henry. Answers is B. Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth reigned for 70 years and 214 days, from 1952 to 2022, surpassing Queen Victoria's reign. Question 90. What is the traditional attire for judges and barristers in British courts? A. Business suits. B. Wigs and gowns. C. Casual wear. D. Military uniforms. Answers is B. Wigs and gowns. Wigs and gowns are traditional judicial attire in the, symbolizing the formality and impartiality of the legal system, though their use has been in some courts. Question 91. Which court is the highest court in the for civil and criminal cases? A. The Court of Appeal. B. The Supreme Court. C. The High Court. D. The Crown Court. Answers is B, the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is the final court of appeal for all civil cases, and for criminal cases from England, Wales and Northern Ireland. Question 92. What is the name for the annual military parade held on the monarch's official birthday? A. The Royal Jubilee. B. Trooping the Colour. C. The Coronation Parade. D. The Commonwealth Games opening. Answers is B. Trooping the Colour. Trooping the Colour is a grand military spectacle held annually in June, involving over 400 parading soldiers, 200 horses, and 400 musicians. Question 93. What is the name of the tower housing the Great Bell, commonly known as Big Ben, at the Houses of Parliament? A. Westminster Tower. B. Elizabeth Tower. C. Clock Tower. D. Victoria Tower. Answers is B. Elizabeth Tower. The iconic clock tower was the Elizabeth Tower in 2012 to mark Queen Elizabeth Diamond Jubilee. Big Ben refers to the bell inside. Question 94. Which famous battle in 1066 led to William the Conqueror becoming King of England? A. Battle of Stamford Bridge. B. Battle of Hastings. C. Battle of D. Battle of Field. Answers is B. Battle of Hastings. The Battle of Hastings on October 14, 1066, was a decisive Norman victory over the English army led by King Harold. Question 95. What type of government does the have? A presidential republic. B. A parliamentary democracy under a constitutional monarchy. C. A federal republic. D. An absolute monarchy. Answers is B. A parliamentary democracy under a constitutional monarchy. That operates as a parliamentary democracy, where the monarch's powers are limited by the Constitution, and Parliament holds supreme authority. Question 96. What is the national flower of Northern Ireland? A. Rose. B. Shamrock. C. Thistle. D. Daffodil. Answers is B. Shamrock. The shamrock is the traditional national flower and symbol of Northern Ireland and is strongly associated with. Question 97. Which of these is a famous British architect? A. William. B. Sir Christopher Wren. C. J. M. W. Turner. D. John Constable. Answers is B. Sir Christopher Wren. Sir Christopher Wren was a renowned architect responsible for rebuilding 52 London churches after the Great Fire of London, including Cathedral. Question 98. What is the longest river in the A. River Thames. B. River Severn. C. River Clyde. D. River Trent. Answers is B. River Severn. The River Severn, at 220 miles 354 long, is the longest river in the United Kingdom, flowing through Wales and England. Question 99. What is the highest mountain in Scotland and the A. Mount Snowdon. B. Ben Nevis. C. Pike. D. Answers is B. Ben Nevis. Ben Nevis is the highest mountain in Scotland and the entire United Kingdom, in the Scottish Highlands. Question 100. Which British institution is home to the Crown? A. Palace. B. The Tower of London. C. Windsor Castle. D. Westminster Abbey. Answers is B, the Tower of London. The Tower of London, a historic castle, is where the crown of the United Kingdom are kept and displayed. Question 101. What is the meaning of the traditional Scottish festival Hogmanay? A. Midsummer celebration. B. New Year's Eve celebration. C. Harvest festival. D. Spring equinox celebration. Answers is B, New Year's Eve celebration. Hogmanay is the Scottish name for New Year's Eve, traditionally celebrated with a party, singing Old Sign and first footing. Question 102. Which major sporting event in England and is now played globally? A. Basketball. B. Football, soccer. C. Baseball. D. Ice hockey. Answers is B, football soccer. Modern football soccer developed in England in the century, with the Football Association FAR being founded in 1863. Question 103. What is the common nickname for the British flag? A. The Royal Standard. B. The Union Jack. C. The Three Lions. D. The Red Dragon. Answers is B, the Union Jack. The national flag of the United Kingdom is commonly known as the Union Jack, symbolising the union of England, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. Question 104. What is the patron saint's day celebrated in England? A. Andrew's Day. B. George's Day. C. Day. D. David's Day. Answers is B, George's Day. George's Day is celebrated on April, honouring England's patron saint. Question 105. What is the name of the prestigious theatre awards in the A. Tony Awards, B. Awards, C. Emmy Awards, D. Academy Awards? Answers is B, awards. The awards, commonly known as the awards, are presented annually by the Society of London Theatre to recognise excellence in professional London theatre. Question 106. Which Scottish city is known for its annual International Festival of Arts? A. Glasgow. B. Edinburgh. C. Aberdeen. D. Dundee. Answers is B, Edinburgh. The Edinburgh International Festival and the Edinburgh Fringe are renowned arts festivals held annually in August, attracting performers and audiences worldwide. Question 107. What is a common traditional dish from Northern Ireland made from mashed potatoes and chopped spring onions? A. Champ. B. Colcannon. C. Soda bread. D. Ulster fry. Answers is B, Colcannon. Colcannon is a traditional Irish dish, particularly popular in Northern Ireland, consisting of mashed potatoes with kale or cabbage and butter. Champ is similar but usually made with spring onions or chives. Question 108. Which British architect designed the Millennium Dome? A. Norman Foster. B. Richard Rogers. C. D. Piano. Answers is B, Richard Rogers. The Millennium Dome, now the arena, was designed by Richard Rogers for the celebration of the third millennium. Question 109. What is the common term for a light savoury pudding often served with roast beef? A. Haggis. B. Yorkshire pudding. C. Black pudding. D. Spotted dick. Answers is B. Yorkshire pudding. Yorkshire pudding is a staple of a traditional British Sunday roast, especially when served with beef, and is made from batter. Question 110. Which British author wrote the Harry Potter series? A. Dahl, B. J.K. C. C.S. Lewis, D. Philip Pullman. Answers is B. J.K. J.K. is the acclaimed author of the Harry Potter fantasy book series, which gained worldwide popularity. Question 111. What is the name of the British prize awarded for outstanding achievements in literature? A. Nobel Prize in Literature, B. Booker Prize, C. Prize, D. Award. Answers is B. Booker Prize. The Booker Prize is a leading literary award for a full-length novel written in English by an author from the Commonwealth or Ireland. Question 112. Which British artist is famous for creating street art and often remains anonymous? A. B. C. Tracy, D. David. Answers is B. Is an anonymous street artist, political activist and film director whose satirical street art and subversive epigrams combine dark humor with graffiti. Question 113. What is the traditional name for the day after Christmas Day? A. New Year's Day, B. Boxing Day, C. Twelfth Night, D. Good Friday. Answers is B. Boxing Day. Boxing Day, celebrated on December, is a public holiday in the and is traditionally a day for giving gifts to service staff and spending time with family. Question 114. What is the name of the traditional Welsh folk music and dance festival? A. Glastonbury Festival, B. Eisteddfod, C. Celtic Connections, D. Folk by the Oak. Answers is B. Eisteddfod. The Eisteddfod is a Welsh festival of literature, music and performance, the largest of its kind in Europe. Question 115. Which British institution is responsible for maintaining and preserving the Royal Collection of Art? A. The National Trust, B. The Royal Collection Trust, C. Historic England, D. The Heritage Lottery Fund. Answers is B. The Royal Collection Trust. The Royal Collection Trust is responsible for the care and display of the Royal Collection, one of the world's largest and most important art collections. Question 116. What is a common British phrase meaning to have a short break for a cup of tea? A. Coffee break, B. Tea break, C. Lunch break, D. Snack break. Answers is B. Tea break. A tea break is a popular and long-standing British tradition, referring to a brief period during the day for workers to rest and have a cup of tea. Question 117. What is the name of the ceremony where a new monarch is crowned? A. Royal wedding, B. Coronation, C. Jubilee, D. Investiture. Answers is B. Coronation. A coronation is the formal investiture of a monarch with regal power and is a deeply symbolic ceremony. Question 118. What is the name of the traditional British sweet dish made with breadcrumbs, fruit and suet? A. B. Spotted dick, C. Tiramisu, D. Apple pie. Answers is B. Spotted dick. Spotted dick is A. Steamed suet pudding containing dried fruit, often currants, and is a traditional British dessert. Question 119. What is the purpose of the Commonwealth of Nations? A. A military alliance. B. An association of linked by shared values and history. C. A trading bloc. D. A religious organization. Answers is B. An association of linked by shared values and history. The Commonwealth is a voluntary association of 56 independent and equal sovereign states, many of which were formerly part of the British Empire, working together towards shared goals. Question 120. Which British engineer is famous for building steam locomotives like the Rocket? A. James Watt. B. George. C. Kingdom. D. Henry Bessemer. Answers is B. George. George, along with his son Robert, designed the Rocket, an advanced steam locomotive that was a pioneering machine of the railway age. Question 121. What is the minimum age to purchase alcohol in the A. 16, B. 18, C. 17, D. 21? Answers is B. 18. The legal age to buy alcohol in the is 18. Question 122. What is the name of the large outdoor music festival held annually in England? A. Reading Festival. B. Glastonbury Festival. C. Isle of Wight Festival. D. Download Festival. Answers is B. Glastonbury Festival. Glastonbury Festival is one of the world's largest greenfield music and performing arts festivals, known for its diverse lineup and vibrant atmosphere. Question 123. Which British institution is responsible for maintaining the security of the A. The Royal Mint. B. The Armed Forces. C. The National. D. The British Council. Answers is B. The Armed Forces. The Armed Forces Royal Navy, British Army, Royal Air Force are responsible for protecting the country and its interests at home and abroad. Question 124. What is the traditional Scottish New Year's Day custom of first footing? A. Jumping into cold water. B. Being the first person to enter a home after midnight. C. Exchanging gifts at midnight. D. Lighting a bonfire. Answers is B. Being the first person to enter a home after midnight. Involves being the first person to cross the threshold of a home after midnight on New Year's Eve, traditionally bringing good luck for the year ahead. Question 125. Which British scientist is credited with inventing the World Wide Web? A. Alan. B. Tim. C. Charles. D. Stephen Hawking. Answers is B. Tim. Sir Tim, a British computer scientist, invented the World Wide Web in 1989 while working at CERN. Question 126. What is the name of the famous circular prehistoric monument in Wiltshire, England? A. Hadrian's Wall. B. Stonehenge. C. Roman Baths. D. Gorge. Answers is B. Stonehenge. Stonehenge is a prehistoric monument consisting of a ring of standing stones to have been built around 2500. Question 127. What is the capital city of Northern Ireland? A. Derry. B. Belfast. C. D. Armagh. Answers is B. Belfast. Belfast is the capital and largest city of Northern Ireland, on the banks of the River Lagan. Question 128. What is the name of the document that gives new laws royal assent? A. White Paper. B. An Act of Parliament. C. A Bill. D. A Green Paper. Answers is B. An Act of Parliament. Once a bill has passed through both Houses of Parliament, it receives royal assent from the monarch and becomes an Act of Parliament, making it law. Question 129. Which king famously tried to arrest 5 members of Parliament, leading to the English Civil War? A. James I. B. Charles I. C. James D. Charles. Answers is B. Charles I. King Charles I's attempt to arrest 5 in 1642 was a major catalyst for the outbreak of the English Civil War, as it was seen as an infringement on parliamentary privilege. Question 130. What is the name of the large annual flower show held in London? A. Hampton Court Flower Show. B. Chelsea Flower Show. C. Worldlife. D. Bloom Festival. Answers is B. Chelsea Flower Show. The Chelsea Flower Show is one of the most famous and prestigious flower shows in the world, organised by the Royal Horticultural Society. Question 131. What is the role of the monarch in modern British government? A. To appoint the Prime Minister based on personal preference. B. To act as head of state, a ceremonial role. C. To propose and veto laws. D. To lead the armed forces in combat. Answers is B. To act as head of state, a ceremonial role. The monarch is the head of state, embodying national unity and performing ceremonial, while the Prime Minister leads the government. Question 132. What must all permanent residents in the do regarding their income? A. Invest it in government bonds. B. Pay income tax and national insurance contributions. C. Donate it to charity. D. Declare it to the local council. Answers is B. Pay income tax and national insurance contributions. Paying income tax and national insurance is a legal obligation for most working adults in the, contributing to public services and social welfare. Question 133. Which British charity provides emergency services and promotes water safety? A. British Red Cross. B. Royal National Lifeboat Institution. C. D. National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children. Answers is B. Royal National Lifeboat Institution. There is a volunteer organisation that saves lives at sea around the coasts of the Ireland, providing a search and rescue service. Question 134. What is the name of the system of common law developed in England? A. Civil law. B. Common law. C. Statutory law. D. Religious law. Answers is B. Common law. The English legal system is based on common law, meaning judicial decisions and precedents play a significant role alongside statutory law. Question 135. What is the purpose of a by-election in the A. To elect a new Prime Minister. B. To fill a vacancy in Parliament between general elections. C. To vote on a national referendum. D. To choose a local councillor. Answers is B. or to fill a vacancy in Parliament between general elections. A by-election is held in a specific constituency when a seat in the House of Commons becomes vacant due to the death or resignation of the sitting. Question 136. What is the name for the period in British history from 1649 to 1660 when England was a republic? A. The Restoration, B. The Commonwealth, C. The Interregnum, D. The Protectorate. Answers is B. The Commonwealth. Following the execution of Charles I, England became a republic known as the Commonwealth of England, which later became the Protectorate under Oliver. Question 137. Who was the last monarch of the Tudor dynasty? A. Henry, B. Elizabeth I, C. Mary I, D. Edward. Answers is B. Elizabeth I. Queen Elizabeth I reigned from 1558 to 1603, marking the end of the Tudor period and the beginning of the Stuart dynasty with James I. Question 138. What does stand for in British culture? A. Do-it-yourself, B. Do-it-yourself, C. Do-it-yearly, D. Do-it-yourself. Answers is B. Do-it-yourself. Or do-it-yourself refers to undertaking home improvements, repairs, or other tasks without professional help, a popular pastime in the. Question 139. What is the name of the traditional British sweet pudding made with treacle or golden syrup? A. Christmas pudding, B. Treacle sponge pudding, C. Sticky toffee pudding, D. Summer pudding. Answers is B. Treacle sponge pudding. Treacle sponge pudding is a classic steamed or baked British dessert, often served with custard. Question 140. Which British charity provides support and care for people affected by cancer? A. Save the Children, B. Cancer Support, C. Age D. Answers is B. Cancer Support. Cancer Support is a major charity that offers physical, emotional, and financial support to people living with cancer. Question 141. What is the name of the British Broadcasting Service funded by a licence fee? A. B. British Broadcasting Corporation, C. Channel 4, D. Sky. Answers is B. British Broadcasting Corporation. There is the public service broadcaster, renowned globally for its news, television, and radio programming, funded primarily by the television licence fee. Question 142. Who was the legendary Welsh leader said to have defended Britain against the Saxon invaders? A. B. King Arthur, C. The Great, D. Answers is B. King Arthur. King Arthur is a legendary British leader who, according to medieval and romances, led the defence of Britain against Saxon invaders in the late and early. Question 143. What is the name of the traditional British Christmas dessert, often served flaming? A. Apple crumble, B. Christmas pudding, C. Trifle, D. Eton mess. Answers is B. Christmas pudding. Christmas pudding is a rich, steamed dark pudding containing dried fruit and often brandy, traditionally served on Christmas Day. Question 144. Which British scientist the special and general of relativity? A. Isaac Newton, B. Albert Einstein, C. Stephen Hawking, D. Answers is B. Albert Einstein. While Einstein he spent significant time in and his were fundamental to physics, influencing British science. He was offered a position at Oxford University in 1933. Question 145. What is the popular British dish made with minced meat, usually lamb, topped with mashed potato? A. Cottage pie, B. Shepherd's pie, C. Steak and kidney pie, D. Cornish pasty. Answers is B. Shepherd's pie. Shepherd's pie traditionally contains minced lamb, whereas cottage pie contains minced beef, both topped with mashed potato. Question 146. What is the role of the Privy Council in A. To advise the Prime Minister on daily policy, B. To advise the monarch on official business, C. To oversee judicial appointments, D. To manage the royal finances? Answers is B. To advise the monarch on official business. The Privy Council is a formal body of advisors to the monarch, exercising the monarch's residual executive prerogative powers. Its members are mostly senior politicians. Question 147. What is the name of the historic fortress in Edinburgh, Scotland? A. Stirling Castle, B. Edinburgh Castle, C. Castle, D. Balmoral Castle. Answers is B. Edinburgh Castle. Edinburgh Castle is a historic fortress dominating the skyline of Edinburgh, a major tourist attraction and historic site. Question 148. Which British political party has traditionally been associated with the Labour movement and working class? A. Conservative Party, B. Labour Party, C. Liberal Democrats, D. Green Party. Answers is B. Labour Party. The Labour Party was formed to represent the interests of the urban working class and trade unions, and it remains one of the two major political parties in the. Question 149. What is the purpose of the Houses of Parliament? A. To serve as the monarch's private residence, B. To debate and make laws for the C. To host national sporting events, D. To store historical documents. Answers is B. To debate and make laws for the. The Houses of Parliament, in the Palace of Westminster, are the seat of the Parliament, where elected representatives debate legislation and scrutinise the government. Question 150. What is the British tradition of dancing? A. A modern street dance style, B. A traditional English folk dance, C. A Scottish Highland dance, D. A ballroom dancing competition. Answers is B. A traditional English folk dance. Dancing is a form of English folk dance, typically accompanied by music, often featuring bells on costumes and handkerchiefs or sticks.